All right, who wants to be the first brave soul in the audience to ask a question? Okay. Go ahead. Can you shout out? I'm just gonna have y'all shout.
Okay, I have a question for you, Bridget, about Robin. So I was a big fan of Legend of the Seeker, and obviously the last time I saw you, you were very different than this character. So I guess what were like the biggest challenges going into this compared to other things?
Well, I don't know if this is on. Wow, it feels like for me it was, I shot it between season 1 and season 2, so I was staying in New York in my old place, so it was just such a different, different wheels to turn, you know, because this is like comedy, and Seeker, you know, was very like serious, high stakes drama. So the first day on set, I was a little bit out of sorts, and it was the scene that we shot in the park with Neil, and I'm a huge Neil Patrick Aaron fan, and I was all a mess, but I think it actually kind of helped me because Robin's a bit, you know, so I think it worked, you know, it worked in my favor, yeah. Sure.
The character of Clark is based on a very, very good friend of Josh's, who shall remain nameless, who I also know, who is quite dissolute, doesn't really have to work, has a fairly famous father, lives off of that, and he showed Josh these kind of texts that he kept. He went to an actual place like that in New York. There's an actual real place, and it's called Le Trapeze. And it really exists, and yes, Chris McDonald did really go there for research.
He called me and asked me if I wanted to go with him. And I was like, and I couldn't go because I was going back to New Zealand, and I was having it going away, but I could not believe it. And he had a lot of good stories, though.
He did. It was very, he was very dedicated.
Research.
Yeah, exactly.
He actually wrote it off. Who's next? There you go.
Speaking of the bar scene, I was just wondering how many takes that took before, like, I would think you would be busting a gut the whole time. I mean, especially the phrase where you had to yell in Neil's face.
I actually remember it shooting pretty quickly. I don't know if you remember it differently. I remember wanting to keep going.
I don't think we had a choice, but...
Questions? I know we don't want to keep you too long. It's a late evening. Yes, go ahead.
You did pranks on set?
Pranks on set?
I would say, there wasn't pranks, but the days that we were shooting in the nectar room were like really giggly days. Naked people.
Naked.
And it was like, you know, there was like 2 categories of extras, like the naked extras and the regular extras.
That was not one.
It was pretty funny, but you know, you just still have to do your best to not blush.
Washington, D.C. on June 2nd.
Houston, right?
Houston is coming up. Yes, there's a huge Seeker fan base in Houston. So those of you Seeker folks, Houston is very excited to have us.
I know they're all down front. I can feel it. I can feel it.
Seekets.
Yeah.
So that's how we're doing it. And then, as I said,